Hey, so today we actually have a pretty fun video for you. I have a surprise for John, something that I've been planning and wanting to put together. So I'm going to tell you a bit about that. And also John and I want to share with you kind of how our respite stay went over the weekend. We hosted 2 teenage girls who are in foster care, and this was our first time doing respite. So a little bit of a different dynamic versus a placement who's coming in, and there's a little bit more, I wouldn't say like permanency, but you can anticipate that they're probably going to be there for a little while at least. So we're going to share that experience a little bit later in this video. But first, I have very little time to surprise John because right now the snow is coming down. He actually had to leave work early, pick up the kids just to make sure that they get home safe before the roads are no longer safe to drive. So now I really don't have a whole lot of time to pull this off, but I'm going to share with you what I'm up to. So this is our bedroom, and usually we make our bed, but today I didn't on purpose because all of this is getting changed. So we have the essentials in here. We have furniture. We have a bed. That also is furniture. But honestly, that's pretty much it. We have a family picture and a candle and, you know, a plant. There's one awesome plant right there. But it's really kind of bare. Yes, there's a basketball back there because Sawyer likes to play with it. And when he wakes up in the morning, he just grabs it and it makes him happy. That's Crosley's dog bed that he refuses to sleep in now. So while we're taking a break from placements, I thought it would be a good idea to use this time to kind of refresh this space, make it a little bit more like serene and relaxing and just a little bit more interesting. So now my job is to strip down the space, try to see how much I can get done before John and the kids get home. If not, I'm gonna make sure he doesn't come up here so I can finish it up and we'll see his reaction. All right, so John and the kids are home. I almost got done with it. I'm actually gonna need him to do a couple of things because we don't have any command picture strips and didn't have time to get the hammer, so let's see what he thinks.
You can come over now. Come when I want. Come here. Okay, now come.
Wow. Holy cow. This looks awesome.
Doesn't it?
This looks really good.
You like it? You
Yeah.
see the vision?
I mean, it'll be a little weird getting used to sleeping with this, but
You're
yeah,
funny.
it'll be
There's
fun.
something things in the
So these are going to go on the wall?
So this, I'm gonna need your help. We're gonna put this up above that.
Okay.
But actually I remember we scooted this over to, because the vent is covered.
Yeah.
So we'll have to scoot it back so everything is centered.
Yeah.
Look at how off center that is. That's terrible. So this is
I
going
like the lamp. That is nice.
like that. I know
Uh-huh.
you've wanted a lamp for a
I've
long
wanted
time.
the lamp.
I love lamp. So yeah, this is above the headboard. These 2 pieces, here if you want to hold that for a second. I want to get like a wall vase.
A sconce.
A sconce, if you will, and put these off center here
Nice.
for some greenery. And then these 2, I think, are gonna go up here.
Awesome.
Sawyer likes it.
He does.
Isn't
Nice
it nice?
job. Yeah, it looks great.
I think
Yeah,
it
you
pulls,
did a nice job.
it pulls everything together. Before I talk to you guys about how the respite weekend went, I want to go ahead and show you the final result of our master bedroom. We wanted to do this a little bit on a budget, so we didn't replace any of the furniture and we reused a lot of the stuff that we already had. Let's see how it turned out. All right, so this is like our furniture. We didn't take care of it, so it's not in the best shape, but I put these placemats on it just to kind of cover it up. Kept the old baskets, those might get replaced, but I have to find something I like. So what I was really excited about was this textured duvet cover. This was about, I would say, 30 to 40, and then the sheet set was also, I think, around $30. Got both of those on Amazon. I also got this on Amazon. I know macrame is like super popular right now, and it was just the perfect addition to really set off the room because, as you can see, I really wanted it to have like a natural feel. I loved having the dark walls, but we had never gotten around to really putting the whole room together. Over here, a lot of this is existing. This is like essential oils. I got a new picture frame, which obviously need to find the picture for. So this came from Target. Found it on clearance, thought it would be perfect. Not much of a clearance at $10, but I really, really liked it. These two plant pictures I found at TJ Maxx long time ago. Got these for, I think, $17 each, and I loved the color of the frame. I knew I wanted to match that with the look of the room, so I've had these for quite a while. This mirror is at Target for $90. I wanted to have a full-length mirror for this corner because there's not a whole lot else we can do with this space. I might get a little, like, you know, side ottoman chair, but it has to be pretty small. In the middle of the night, I go to the bathroom and I will inevitably trip over anything that's over there. Wanted to get some wall plants. Obviously these are artificial because I cannot keep them alive. This plant I got at Costco a while ago. I give it a lot of light, but you know, I'm not a plant person. It's supposed to be low maintenance, but I'm killing it still. So we went for artificial. We can't have floor plants because Crosley will pee in and around them. So I got these off of Amazon and found these outdoor planters to hang on the wall. Got those at a store called At Home. And John put in couple of hooks that we could hang. So those turned out pretty darn perfect. And something that John has been wanting for a really long time is a lamp. Don't ask me why, but this actually set things into motion. Once I found this at Big Lots for $25, I was like, you know, we have almost all the other pieces. Let's go ahead and finish it up. So this is the final result. Little Crosley over there. Sad little pooch. But now we kind of have our own little oasis, and this was perfect timing as we take a break from taking placement calls to go ahead and refresh this space so that we have our calm, relaxing space to rest, because as caregivers, it's like super important. So before I run out and pick up the groceries, because I have like a window of time where I have to go get them, wanted to give you a quick update on how our first respite care experience went. And I can honestly say it really went without any issues, went super smooth. It was a fun weekend. Of course it was exhausting. Definitely learned some things as a like newer foster parent who's doing respite for the first time. But quick recap of the weekend. So I went and picked the girls up. Their foster mom had given each of them $20, so they asked if they could stop by the store because they wanted to pick up some junk food. Even though I told them we had snacks at home, I could tell that they wanted to like pick out and like spend their money. And once they loaded up all their snack food, we got in the car. We had a significant drive to go home. Darcy was in the car, but she was asleep for most of it. And you know, they were chatting with each other, tried to kind of like break the ice a little bit, had good conversation with them. They're really, really good girls, really fun, into anime, which was a whole new world for John and I. So that weekend we learned so much about anime. I will not say that we're experts, but we at least know enough now to appreciate it. And if there are other kids who come in, we definitely kind of like know what to look for. But that first night we just kind of had dinner. I think they showed us some of their shows that they watch. They go to bed early, wake up early. So they were in bed, I think, before we were, which was not something that we're used to. And with talking with them, they really, really love animals. So they enjoyed having the guinea pigs and having Crosley, but they really, really liked cats. They're cat kids, and obviously we don't have any cats because John's allergic, but Darcy also really likes cats. And John had the genius idea to find a kitty cafe that is in our area. They're taking reservations so that they're limiting the amount of people who are in their kitty lounge. But we went ahead and we made a reservation, and it was $11 per person. So for $44, myself, Darcy, and the two girls all went to this kitty cafe, hung out with the cats. Like there were a whole bunch of kittens and they were running around and playing. And it was just like, it was a good thing to like get out of the house, do something that they, you know, weren't able to do previously. And also the place that we went to, all of the cats there are, you know, up for adoption. So I'm gonna put a link to that kitty cafe. I think it's Kitty Brew Cafe or something like that. But I'm gonna put a link below. So if you are a cat person in the area, feel free to check them out. They have a coffee shop on one side and then the kitty lounge on the other. And then we offered the girls an opportunity to earn a little bit of money doing a couple of chores, like really, really simple chores, because they were talking about like different things that they might want to shop for. And, you know, we don't want to be those, you know, parents, foster parents, respite parents who are just throwing things at the kids. So we had them just kind of help out with a couple of things. So the one who really, really loves animals, and she actually helps out at like a horse farm in her area. It's part of like her horse therapy. She helped me do a full clean of the guinea pig cage. Kind of was a hard thing to do. Not the most pleasant, but we put on our gloves, cleaned everything out, and she was really grateful for that. And then she picked out this like oversized black hoodie that she was wanting. And the other young lady, she helps me around the kitchen to prep vegetables, do a lot of like food prep stuff. And, you know, she even mentioned that like she doesn't get a chance to do this kind of thing. So I think it was just kind of a, you know, opportunity for her to like stretch into a new skill. And it's, you know, a life skill, because both of these girls are, I would say, like older teens. And so I'm not going to speak specifically to, you know, what permanency looks like for them, but it's just good for the older kids who are staying with you to have those life skills. So it was a pretty fun weekend. We watched the Super Bowl together. I think they watched maybe a little bit of it and then lost interest, but that's okay. But overall, it was a fun weekend, and it was exhausting in the sense of, you know, when kids come, I feel an immense responsibility to really be present, be available, make sure I'm picking up on like certain cues, you know, their needs, their wants, all of that sort of thing. And so I think just, you know, it becomes a little bit exhausting. And so in respite care, you're trying to make an impact and make a connection in a very, very short amount of time. Whereas when you have a foster care placement, you can kind of slowly build that trust and communication. With these girls, I could tell they were, you know, really interested in opening up and talking. And at first, when you're listening to the kids, you know, talk to you about things, your mama bear comes out and you're like, oh gosh, that's terrible. Or like, I can't believe that had happened. And this was the first opportunity where I really had to put myself into check with that like mama bear, because we don't know the foster parent that they're staying with. There were some things that they had shared that just didn't seem to add up to my experience of the agency and the caseworkers. And so John and I talked, and what we decided is the best way for us to handle a situation like this is be there for the girls, listen to the girls, hear their story, empathize with them, but know that, you know, teens in general, you know, it's their perspective. And so there's also a perspective on the other side as it pertains to the caseworker and the foster parent. And so this was an opportunity for us to really kind of straddle that line of supporting the girls, making sure that they feel heard, making sure that you're listening for anything that would be like a red flag that you would need to truly report as a mandated reporter. Foster parents, if there's abuse or neglect, we must report that. But none of this was the case with these girls. But you know, there were some things where as a teen in the foster care system, you know, some things are challenging, and your caseworker is telling you one thing and you might hear something, you know, slightly different, but that's what you're holding on to. And I'm not trying to invalidate their experience. It's just something to be mindful of. And so I felt like we did a really good job of still listening to the girls. And after the weekend, I reached out. Actually, I think their caseworker had reached out to me from our agency, who is a really, really nice person. I've worked with her before. And I just kind of like tried to share and say, you know, hey, I know as respite parents, we're not, you know, entitled to any information, and I'm not asking for any information, but there were just some things that they shared that just didn't feel right. And so I don't know if I should share that with you or if that breaks their trust, or, you know, so it was kind of like this conversation, this open conversation. And ultimately, as we anticipated, the truth was somewhere in the middle. And what it boiled down to is just, you know, when kids are in foster care, there are situations that are not fair, but being respite for these girls, we were able to hear them, and we were kind of this impartial party who was listening to them and caring for them. And when we gave that information to the caseworker, what that gave her was an opportunity to kind of switch her messaging so that she might be able to better get through to the girls, because maybe, you know, she was trying to tell them one thing, but the girls heard something else. And so now the caseworker is going to go back and she's going to be more aware of, you know, okay, I'm going to dig a little bit deeper because I want to make sure that, you know, they know that they can trust, you know, me, all the people on their care team. So I don't feel like I'm doing a great job explaining things, but ultimately I just want the message to be, when you have kids who are coming to stay with you, whether it's for respite, whether it's for a longer period of time, listen to them, believe them. It's so, so important for these kids to feel that they have a trusted adult who is really caring for them and taking care of them, making decisions that are in their best interest. And that's what we felt like we had to do in sharing some of the things. That we didn't break any confidentiality with the girls. There was nothing that they shared with us that, you know, their caseworker didn't already know about it. We just kind of wanted to give the caseworker a little bit of a download, because ultimately we wanted the girls to be supported. And the best way that we could help the caseworker support them is to share with them where maybe that message that the caseworker was giving just really wasn't landing with the girls. And that's nobody's fault. It's not the girls' fault. There's nothing wrong with what the caseworker did or what the foster parent had been doing. So again, I'm trying to speak in generalities, but I feel like I don't always do a good job of like fully explaining, but just trust that it was a great weekend. These were two amazing girls with a lot of potential. I mean, one of them is really into drawing. The other is really into writing. They're respectful. You know, they're sitting there calling me Miss Whitney and ma'am. And I'm like, oh gosh, I can't get used to that. Like, that's crazy. But yeah, it was just a really nice opportunity to meet a couple of, you know, kids and have a fun weekend. We hope that they had a good time too. We think that they did. We sent them with a few parting gifts. I went ahead and I took them downstairs into our basement. We've shown before how we like to buy things on clearance when we can get a really good deal, and we kind of have like a big shelving unit that we set things aside for kids, either to donate to kids who are in foster care, or if kids are going to be staying with us, we also gift it to our family and stuff like that. So I took both girls down there separately, and you know, one picked out some makeup, another picked out some, you know, journaling books and that sort of thing. I also want to just share that we did get news that the two girls that we got a placement call for, they ended up going to a different home. So we're grateful that they did find a home that was a good fit for them, and this time it just wasn't us. But that just means that we're going to stay open and available for any of the kids who might need to come stay with us. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.